of Mike's passing, the shock of it was overwhelming, to say the least. Not only did the real estate industry lose a true pioneer that was one of the most beloved, well-respected, kindest, and smartest individuals we have had the pleasure to work with, we all lost someone we could truly call a friend. Mike always had a smile on his face, and that laugh, it was contagious. You couldn't help but love the guy. He was always willing to lend a hand, both physically and emotionally, providing support and guidance every step of the way. Fortunately for me, I got two for the price of one. Not only did I reap the benefits of Mike's experience and knowledge, I had the pleasure of working with his wife, Joyce, at the Oregon REALTORS for many years before she retired. Between the two of them, there wasn't a thing they didn't know about the real estate industry, including the history of the Realtor associations. Over the years, Joyce and Mike became much more than professional colleagues for me. We developed a friendship that I will forever be grateful for. Once Joyce retired, I didn't get to see them as much as I would have liked, mainly because they were usually off to some parts unknown or places they loved the most, Sun River, the beach, or with their kids at home in Kaiser. They saw it all, whether it was by boat, car, or plane. Mike leaves us with so many precious gifts. We all should be so lucky to touch others' lives the way he did. For me, the best gift I received from Mike is to live life to the fullest, have a good work-life balance, never take your health for granted, and see the world. Well, one of these days, Mike, I will actually apply the gift you gave me. Rest in peace, my friend.
We have been friends, best friends, since the 6th grade. He first got involved in the old Clackamas County Board of Realtors. He took a very sleepy association and revitalized it. It was just amazing to watch. He had a very special knack in that he would never accept the status quo. He never just took a job to go along because it was his turn to be part of that role. We became, over the years, family. His family became my family, and vice versa. My kids called him Uncle Mike. His kids called me Uncle Durf, which is an old nickname of mine. He would never let me sit back and be my shy, introverted self. He just wouldn't accept it. I have great memories of our adventures and travel together. We traveled together in Europe and Mexico. With our wives, we would charter sailboats in the Sea of Cortez, the British Virgin Islands, the Canadian Gulf Islands, San Juan Islands. And fortunately, on all those trips, he was our chef. He was a magnificent chef. His meals were not to be missed. Mike's passing is a profound loss to his family, to his friends, and to the Realtor organization, and to me. We miss him.
Michael Graeper. Some know him as Mike, others as Michael. Today he is Michael, my way of honoring him. In Greek, Michael means who is like God. Not necessarily God-like, but it asks the question. And Michael was always asking questions. Has Michael made an impact to life in our industry? John Scott, when he first called me and I asked, are they going to have a memorial service? John said there isn't a big enough place to hold all the people. When Joyce Beach Graeper responded to my first text, she said, Lordy, I miss him already. For me, he was larger than life, and I love him to pieces. Michael was simply always discussing and debating, but never walked away mad. He allowed you to have your own opinion. He is what we call a quality individual. This moment is also for the living, and especially Joyce. She sends her best and thanks to all. Know too that Joyce has made a major life commitment to all of you. Out of college with a degree in association management, she worked for 5 years at the Farm Bureau. Then she joined the Oregon Realtor family for the rest of her adult career. When you think of Michael today. Also think and thank Joyce, who was his rock and the love of his life. And Michael will be greatly missed.
With Mike, a conversation meant he talked and I was listening, which is totally fine because he was an amazing storyteller. But then he brought up something which I had forgotten about, that he sure hadn't. About 25 years ago at a Windermere Community Service event, I was using his hedge trimmer and his extension cords, and I sucked. I sucked so bad that I not only did it once, but I did it twice. I cut through his extension cords. This is not his because it's not broken. But because of that, and he wasn't happy at the time, because of that, he gave me the greatest laugh in our conversation. And for that, it was worth cutting through his extension cord. So Mike, it was great knowing you. Thank you.
Of all the things that I remember about Mike Graeper, the most predominant one is his smile. It seemed that he was perpetually happy and blessed in his life. But more than that, he played a huge role in my life. He was one of the very first people to encourage me to apply for the CEO position of the Oregon REALTORs. It changed the trajectory of my life in every positive way. I will always be thankful for him. I will always be thankful for his encouragement and his support. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace.
He was important to me as a colleague, as a mentor, and as a friend. He helped me get to know all of the agents in our company. He helped me get to know the rest of the realtor community in the Portland area. He was a good man, a good friend. He loved people, and he will be missed dearly.
He was a wonderful and supportive manager, always had my back and just a joy to work with. Others will talk about Mike's brilliant knowledge of real estate and real estate law, which is so true, but I remember his kindness and caring when he dealt with agents and staff. I was so grateful that he allowed me to schedule my work to fit my young son's school hours. Would always take time to talk fishing with that son, and bought boxes of candy every Christmas for all his agents from my daughter earning money for her dance team. He always remembered names and asked about my husband and kids years later. Mike had a wonderful and engaging way with words. He could not tell me about his latest trip without making me feel as if I was there too. And when he described food, dishes that he cooked, oh my gosh, I was ravenous before he finished. I last saw Mike when he treated me to a retirement lunch in December of 2017. We had so much to laugh and reminisce over. I will miss him so very much and hope you will take comfort from this excerpt from an Ellen Brenneman poem, His Journey's Just Begun. And think of him as living in the hearts of those he touched, for nothing loved is ever lost, and he was loved so much. I will always treasure you, Mike.
Mike Graeper was a good friend and a great mentor. He was always kind and always working hard for all realtors throughout the state. Mike was always involved, and one of the best things that Mike did was bring new people in to get them involved in leadership within our association. Mike was a great mentor, and we'll miss him dearly.
The memory of Mike that makes me chuckle is when he came on stage in Sun River as the incoming OAR president, introducing his theme of the year, Go for the Goal, dressed as a very unlikely looking marathoner. But the last time I talked to him, he shared with his passion, which was taking care of the roses and the rose garden at his church. And the fact that he would invest his time to make an experience better for his fellow parishioners, I think is very fitting.